You're listening to Jet Bets, the gambling podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Jet Bets, the gambling podcast. I'm Brian Stein, joined by JB and Charlie as always. We had a bit of a turnaround this week, didn't we, boys? Feel a little better about football this week, or what?
Not me.
No, not you.
My count's all right, but what shows on the show sheet? I got a lot of red on my thing from last week.
So we're changing up. So we're gonna review a couple things here. So last week I went 9-7, as did Charlie. JB went 5-11. Those are overall picks. Not great.
I went 9-7.
You went 9-7 last week.
Ooh, don't look now, boys.
So if we're being overall picks, I'm at 54% picks so far overall through the first 3 weeks. JB's at 39%. You're at 45%. This is what really matters here, though. Well, this matters a little bit. I hit my first lock ever in 2022 of your Lord and Savior.
Good job, Brian.
JB also hit his. He's 2 for 3 on his locks so far. Charlie's a big old ofer on his locks.
We're going to talk
Care
about
to comment?
We're going to talk about it.
Care to comment?
This week, I'm going to name a theme for the week.
Okay.
The theme for this week is Prove It.
Prove it.
And I'm going to tell you why as we go game by game.
I love it.
I've been locking the Raiders. I've been loving the Raiders. And guess what? They let me down 3 times in a row. They've been so close, but no cigar.
Yep.
Guess what? Now you got to prove it to me.
Now you
I
really
gave it to you.
it.
Now you got to prove it.
We had a lot of sweeps last week. We had 6 of them. We went 3-3. So that's a little, I feel like that's our sweeps in a nutshell. Is there's just something, Vegas knows if we're all agreeing, it's a red flag. So take it what you will. Our sweeps on the year right now are at 46%. If we look at our best bets, our parlay picks, whatever you'd like to call them, I went 3-1 on my legs. JB went 2-2. Charlie went 2-1. Charlie has without a doubt, the best legs throughout the season. He's at a 66% success rate on his parlay or best picks. JB's at 22%. I'm at 26%.
That week 2 destroyed me, bro.
22?
Yeah.
That week 2 absolutely
You guys are better than that.
My week 1 was 0-3, and that
My
really
week
hurt.
2 was 0-4. It was bad.
Yeah. We're here to bounce back. We're here for a good time, not a long time. So with that being said, that's a lot of numbers. I think what we've learned from that is our best bets are getting better. So pay attention to our parlays because that's where we really love our money. Charlie's luck has to turn. So whatever you lock this week, I'm putting a cool tenner on for you.
Oh, wow.
In solidarity. A whole unit.
I appreciate that.
A whole unit on it for you. Don't say I never did anything for you. Are we ready to get into week 1? Somebody say yeah.
Born ready.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Thursday night football. Uniform game of the year. The Bengals are 3.5-point favorites at home against the Miami Dolphins. The total here is 47.5. I didn't have a number stat here in terms of gambling odds, but what I can tell you is that Miami has allowed the second most passing yards in the NFL. You know who loves to pass? Them Bungles.
Both these teams.
Both these teams love to pass. That's true. Let's start with JB to kick us off for Thursday night.
So I truly think right now, as we stand, Miami is the best team in the league. Because solely for the reason that they are the most healthy right now. Them and the Eagles are the 2 best teams and the healthiest teams. And I think Miami just has just a little bit of an edge on the Eagles. So by that thought process, even to swap teams, like say this was the Eagles in this predicament, I'm thinking a top 2 team is getting points, so that's where I'm going. I don't care if it's going to Cincinnati. I know it's a hell of a travel for them going up, but I'm going with Miami plus 3.5.
You mentioned the health there. That's really interesting, considering the health of Tua Tagovailoa.
If he came back, he's going to play this week. If he came back to finish that game, he's going to play this week.
His back hurt so bad he had a concussion from it. I really don't understand that. But I'm with you. I'm with your thought process. Are you riding that too, Charlie, or what?
First of all, love the acknowledgement of the uniform game.
Yes.
Normally, I'm the only one that does it, and I think there is power in uniform games.
There definitely is.
So I'm going to go there. Little stat for you.
Ooh, give it to me.
Prime time games this season. Prime time games. The under is 8-2.
Oof.
Which is unfortunate for two explosive, dynamic offenses.
That's true.
I vowed to not take any unders this year, and I'm going to be a man of my word. I'm just going to take the points, plus 3.5 for Miami.
I'm taking the Dolphins here too. We're getting there. I feel like we've swept a lot on Thursday night so far, but I think the mantra of this is that even if the Bengals win, it is a field goal game. I don't see the Bengals winning by more than like a last-second field goal at the end as time expires, because the Dolphins are a top 3 team, undoubtedly. They're my number 2 team right now. Sorry, no, they are my number 3 team right now. You go listen to Jet Set Dynasty to hear our power rankings, but I think that 3.5 points is too many. We're gonna take the points here and hope that this uniform game lives up to the hype, and that's our first sweep of the night. Which is the London game? Is it the Saints? Is it Saints? This game here? Okay. Got to wake up early to bet on this one. Little brunch, little taster. The Saints are plus 2.5 at home, if you want to use home, because they are going to be in London against the Minnesota Vikings. The total here is 43.5 points. New Orleans is tough this season. 0-3 against the spread so far this NFL season for the Saints. Charlie, are they going to turn that around?
No. I had a thought, and it's better said just no. They're not.
Just no?
I have a funny about this game.
Okay, I love funnies.
So, do you think it's a little insensitive to have a team named the Vikings go to England, where they ravaged and pillaged for thousands of years?
They all forgotten about
PC culture at its finest.
I'm just saying that's a little bit too soon. This soon after the death of the Queen, you're going to bring the Vikings back?
It's not like the Vikings killed the Queen.
How?
Maybe they killed a queen.
But she
Is
was
that what
the
you're
only
saying,
thing.
Brian? Say it to the
I
microphone.
don't know. I'm asking.
She was the only thing keeping the Vikings away all these years. Now she's gone and the Vikings are back. Vikings minus 2.5.
Vikings. Oh my god.
I wish I had an equally good reason for me to pick the Vikings.
History
2.5.
repeats itself. That's all.
History.
I would be picking a lot. I do not understand the scoring. We are at a especially in the most recent year, we're at a record low scoring throughout the first 3 weeks. So I'm staying far, 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 far away from total bets this week. I only have 2 right now loaded up. So I'm going to be picking primarily spreads. I'm going with the Vikings minus 2.5. I think they're the better team, and anytime I see the better team with under a field goal, I go to it immediate.
Yeah, this is one where I really want to zig when everybody else is zagging. New Orleans is 0-3. They've got to come back around. The Vikings look like they returned to their former self. I think what my real question here is this considered a primetime game? Because that is going to directly impact Kirk Cousins' performance.
I don't think anybody who gets up at 9 o'clock is thinking, oh, yeah, prime time.
Yeah, but it's technically like, oh, wait, no, I guess it's only 1 o'clock there. Because it's like a 9:30 game. So it's like a 1 or 2 o'clock kickoff still. I'm going to... What are your thoughts on that? Is this considered primetime or no?
No, I don't consider this prime time.
I mean, do you consider it primetime because it's just the only game on in a certain window? Does the time of day
that's
really
what I'm asking.
impact? Like, if they played at 6 a.m., would that still be just because they're the only game on? They're not really prime.
I guess by
prime
definition,
time, is defined by big lights and
okay,
there's no lights that are going to be on.
So by definition, prime time means that is the best slot. That is where the most people watch TV. That's why 8 o'clock 8:20. That's when people are done with their days. They're sitting down and watching TV, and that's prime time to watch TV. Prime viewing hours.
Not sure if 9:30 puts that into.
That's my point too. So I think I'm going to ride with that. It is not a primetime game by definition.
I have a definition for you
Okay,
from the
please.
dictionary.
Dictionary, please.
Oxford, to be specific.
Appropriate for England.
Yes. Primetime, noun. The regularly occurring time at which a television or radio audience is expected to be greatest, typically between the hours of 8 and 11 p.m. The Olympics have dominated 59% of primetime. That was a use of it in a sentence. Therefore,
Thanks for using it in a sentence.
I just kept reading and didn't realize that was the end of the definition and the start of the sentence. So I just kept reading it like an idiot, like the teleprompter. That I don't know how when to stop.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
And my tiny little nipples went to France. Not primetime.
Not primetime.
Vikings minus 2.5.
Vikings. Back-to-back sweeps, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy, that can't bode well for the rest of this week.
Let's just all agree.
Yeah, I hope both teams have fun the entire time. All right, back to the 1:00ers. The Colts face a divisional opponent, the Tennessee Titans. The Colts are 3.5-point favorites at home. The total here is a measly 43 points. Indy is 1-4 against the spread versus Tennessee over their last 5 games. Also in those 5 games, the over is hit in 4 out of those 5 games. Low total. Colts struggle against the Titans. Charlie, what are you thinking here, buddy?
I just want to let you know the hook is now gone. It is now just 3 points flat.
It is now a straight. Ooh, that impacts.
That has really changed since me writing this down like not even 20 minutes ago.
I'm just looking at it right
no,
now.
you were correct.
Playing it live.
This is an example of a prove it for me.
Okay.
The Colts are riding high after they beat the Chiefs. It cost me $1 billion of bets.
Billion. Mm-hmm.
Billions. There's no way that they're better than the Titans.
Uh-huh.
I don't think they have the defensive capacity to stop Derrick Henry. I don't think the Colts are overly explosive or dynamic in any facet of the game of football. Mm-hmm. Therefore, Titans +3 to me seems like a no-brainer.
I agree. I think that this line is deflated because they just managed to beat the Chiefs. I would argue that the Chiefs probably fell into a trap game there, where we heard this all week that this defensive coordinator couldn't stop Patrick Mahomes because he was at the Raiders and he threw all over him. It felt like a bit of a trap game because they have Tampa Bay this week, so maybe that was something that Kansas City just really wasn't prepared. So that Colts win, not to take away from the Colts dub, but that causes this line to be a little bit closer. I think the Titans looked a little bit better last week. They've got Derrick Henry moving again, got him involved in the pass game. I'm taking the Titans here as well. Give me Titans +3.
I'm going with the under in this game.
Oh, thank God. If we had 3 sweeps, we'd probably have to end the podcast right there.
I wrote down Tennessee +3.5. Then I lost the hook, so I was like, I'm not feeling it as much now. I think this is just a game where both teams are going to rely on their biggest weapons, which is their running back. And usually when that was garbage that just came out of my mouth. I don't even know how that worked.
God bless you.
But when we have 2 garbage men colliding like this, they usually go to their biggest strengths, which is the running back. And we see running back matchups, those are relatively like low scoring points because they're all relying on the 1 touchdown.
That's fair.
So I'm going to be going with the under.
I have a question for JB. Our resident defensive guru?
Specialist?
I like specialist. I wouldn't call guru.
Okay, specialist.
I don't hate guru, but
Piggybacking off of that, right? Lean on your strengths, 2 running backs, right? Which team has a better run defense?
Probably right now it's Tennessee, but both of them. Tennessee doesn't have a whole lot of middle linebacker support. Shaq Leonard for the Colts is still out for the Colts. Mm-hmm. So on paper it should be the Colts, mainly because they have DeForest Buckner at D tackle. That's their big run stopper. Losing Shaq Leonard is tough. I think both of them are just not very equipped to handle the run game this week.
Perfect. Hammer the over for both running backs yards.
Ooh, feed them. I bet both of those are going to be over 80.
That sounds about right.
I doubt they're available now. But
Taylor hasn't been great so far.
He's been over 80, though.
No, I don't think the last 2 weeks he has.
Week 1, I know he had over 100 yards. But
yeah, but I think the last 2 weeks he's been a little bit lacking.
Are they up yet? There's no way they're up yet, right?
Nope, not yet.
Curses recording on Tuesdays. Did I say the Titans? Yes, I did.
You did.
I did. So Charlie and I are on the Titans. JB's taking the under, breaking the sweep streak. Amen. The G-Men are back at home, back to back. -3 off of a technically short week because they played.
-3.5 now.
Oh my
So
gosh!
you gained a hook this time.
They just moved the hook. They swapped hooks on these crappy games. So Giants -3.5 against the Bears at home. Total here, lowest of the week, 39. I'm going to ask. Actually, no. I'm just going to give you the stat. The Giants have allowed 415 yards on the ground so far this season. That is the 8th most allowed in the NFL. The Bears are second in the league in rushing.
That surprises me.
David Montgomery went off last week. Khalil Herbert, not David Montgomery. Khalil Herbert went off in his absence. They are doing very well on the ground. This seems like a strength versus a weakness here. We know that Justin Fields is not going to be throwing the football. I am taking the Bears, especially now that you give me the hook, +3.5. That feels really good.
I'm riding with you. 3.5 for the Bears.
I think we're matched up so far on everything.
We're synced up.
Yeah, never mind.
Can we? Yeah.
Nope, not tuning in again. Not 2 weeks in a row.
I don't think the Giants. I mean, they kind of got exposed in prime time. I would say that game felt like it was. It didn't feel as close as the final score showed. I think the Cowboys were better 90% of that game.
I would have to agree with that.
Give me the Bears and the points.
Get this Fugazi 2-1 teams out of my face. I hate this game. I don't want to bet on it. It's the exact same thing as the last game with worse teams. It's just two teams that are going to try to rely on their running backs the whole time, and that's why I'm going the under again.
Oh, gross.
Ew.
2 unders.
I really think this game is like a 17-13 like nonsense game.
And just to go back around, I can confirm to you the top 5 rushing teams in the NFL from 1 to 5: Browns 1, Bears 2, Lions 3, Giants 4, Falcons 5.
Shout out Cordero. Good man. Won me some money last week.
Maybe the game of the week, game of the 1 o'clocks, I think for sure. The Ravens are home dogs, +3.5 against the Buffalo Bills. The total here is 51.5. Baltimore's 5-0 against the spread as home dogs since 2019. On the other side of that, the Ravens defense is the worst in the league right now in terms of passing yardage. They are the only team in the NFL to allow 1,000 passing yards over the first 3 weeks. But the Ravens offense leads the league in touchdowns. You know what that smells like to me, boys? It smells like a fucking over and a half.
Oh yeah,
I'm hammering this over. I also like the Ravens, but my official pick here is the over.
I'm going with you. Like the Bills' defense is so hurt right now. 2 safeties gone, 2 D tackles gone. So now they lose that big getting pressure with 4 offensive linemen that they've been riding for the first 2 weeks. Now that like the one thing, even before Josh Allen came, the one thing they could hang their hat on was really good secondary play. They still don't have Treyway, and they now are down 2 safeties, and it's the best safety tandem in the league, and they're missing both of them. So I'm slamming the over in this game. It's the one over I'm picking this week.
Yeah, I love this over so much. I honest to God think there might be 100 points scored in this game.
I love the over also, but I'm nervous about how much I love it, so I'm actually fading it. I'm not doing it.
You don't trust yourself.
I don't trust.
I love it so
you guys
much.
Said it, you're like, there's going to be 100 points. All the safeties are hurt. They're going to put the ball over the top. You know, they score all these points. This just, I have a bad feeling about this one. And for that reason, I'm going to take the Ravens +3 at home. This, to me, is a prove-it game for Buffalo. They cannot win games when the games are close. They only win when they beat the snot out of everyone. And I don't think the Ravens defense, in spite or despite them being all banged up, is going to get run on like that.
Wait, you're taking the Ravens, though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
They can't win when it's close. Buffalo can't win when it's close.
Okay.
So either Buffalo blows them out, or the Ravens are going to win. So I think the Ravens are going to win.
I don't think Lamar Jackson will let that happen.
No. And even if they do get down early, I have Lamar as my fantasy quarterback, and he will put up 1,000 points trying to bring his team back to life.
Yeah, no doubt there. This is going to be a really fun game.
I wish they would
I'm
flex
surprised.
it to night.
I
know they can't now,
I wish we
but-
could vote it in again. I do think that I'm surprised this is not at like a 53 or 54 yet. It's at 51.5, floating around 52 for some places. I predict this will get to probably 53.5 by kickoff.
Because the sharps like me were fading it.
Maybe. I don't know. Are you sharp?
No, I am
do we
not.
consider ourselves
For
sharp?
a long time, I thought people talk about sharp and square.
Uh-huh.
I literally thought they were saying shark, like just like the animal.
That's how sharp you are.
Are you a shark or are you a square? It sounds way better.
It does. I mean, I would like to think that I'm a shark.
Because like a pool shark, it's like
Yeah.
gambling, billiards. I thought it was like, oh yeah, I'm a shark. Yeah, but that's how sharp I am. I don't even know what the word meant for the longest time.
There was an injection that happened in this game last week. And luckily, it was sharp and in the right point. The Chargers are
Nice.
5.5 point favorites on the road, visiting the Houston Texans. That was a bad transition. I apologize. The total here is extremely low, 44.5. Houston is an interesting team because they are 5-1-1 against the spread in their last 6 games. So while we keep saying that they're a very bad team, good teams win, bad teams lose, great teams cover.
Houston was a tough one because, like, it depends on when you got the line is when if Houston covered or not last week.
Yeah.
It flopped
it
heavy
flopped.
between -2 or +2.5 to +3.5. I saw it at +3 times.
I believe the stats that I pulled off actually called it a push this week. Where it must have closed at 3, I think is what it was. I don't know. But this game is scary for me. Obviously, so I think the biggest thing that nobody's talking about is Rashawn Slater is out for the season, the star left tackle for the Chargers. Obviously, we know that Justin Herbert is banged up. We were expecting Keenan Allen last week and didn't get him back. Mike Williams has been really hot and cold, as is tradition. Gerald Everett has been good. Surprisingly good, I would say. But are the Chargers still 5.5 points better with that stomping of by the Jaguars, 38-10 last week?
I hate that game. That game made me upset.
Hurt your feelings?
Yeah, I'm taking the over in this game.
Ooh, over 44.5.
Yeah, it's not that many points. The Chargers are capable of putting up a bajillion when they're on. I expect this game to be Chargers early, up a lot. Texans maybe playing catch up. If the Texans can score 17, I think that's all they would need to score, 17 points.
The Texans?
Yeah.
Oh, to cover.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
sorry, to hit the over, you mean?
Yeah. You scared me. I was like, that's the wrong game? Am I on the wrong game?
No, I was confused by your phrasing, but no, 17 points to get the over. Let the Chargers get the other 20, whatever. JB, where you at?
I might be putting too much faith into this, but I think Keenan Allen will come back this week, and I think that's going to be a big help, even with Justin Herbert, who's a little bit hobbled up at the moment. So I'm going to take the Chargers -5.5.
I'm taking the Chargers -5.5 as well. I think so. I was really disappointed. And I talked about this on Jet Set, but I was really disappointed in the way that they handled Justin Herbert last week. At the end of the third quarter, they were down 31-10. Pull him out. You're risking nothing. He was still clearly in pain. He threw 45 times last week. Not only did he throw 45 times, Austin Eckler carried the ball 4 times. He had touches in the receiving game, but I think what needs to happen this week is they need to get the ground game going to take some pressure off of Justin Herbert and that injury. And I think that they can do it against this Texans team. So I'm going to take the Chargers -5.5. I think that this is kind of a water finding its level. Houston's been doing pretty well against the spread. I think it kind of comes back, and we're going to get a loss on Houston's spread line. So give me Chargers for -5.5.
Can I ask a question to you guys?
That's why we're here.
Can you settle a debate for me? I
Sure.
was in a very heated debate on Saturday night.
We touched on this a little bit earlier, didn't we?
Did we?
Well, in the group chat.
Well, I want to talk about it. Who has a better roster on paper? Pre-injury to Rashawn Slater.
Okay.
This is as of Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
The Chargers or the Chiefs? Who has a better roster, position group by position group, on paper?
It's Chargers, and it's not
I
close.
think it's the Chargers, and I think it's closer than Brian's saying.
They have the better safety. They
Yes.
have the
Let's go top to bottom. Quarterback.
push.
Chiefs.
Okay, Chiefs.
Gotta
Okay.
be Chiefs, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd go Chiefs.
Okay, Chiefs. Running backs.
Chargers.
Gotta be Chargers.
Yep.
Receivers. Got to be Chargers.
Yep.
Really? Yeah, okay, gotta be Chargers.
Come
Gotta be
on, I was
Chargers.
going to say.
Tight end, Chiefs.
Chiefs, easy. Yep.
O-line.
Chargers with
think
Slater.
Chargers pre-Slater injury,
Yes.
yes. Chargers.
They have a Pro Bowl center in Lindsey. They have a Pro Bowl left tackle, and they have a guard who's a rookie, who's a first-round rookie, Zion Johnson.
Yeah,
Yes.
who absolutely
Good pull.
eliminated Chris Jones.
Good
Okay. Which brings me to defensive
I will
line.
say Chiefs line's pretty good. It is
Probably.
pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad, but Chargers are better. D-line.
Joey Bosa.
But it includes edge and interior.
I think I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
You like Chris Jones over Joey Bosa, basically?
It's basically, it's how much weight do you put into it? Because Chargers have Bosa and Mack, but the Chargers have a really good rookie, Chris Jones and Frank Clark.
Yeah, that is really close. I think I would lean. I think star power pushes me to the Chargers.
I'm actually, now that I say that, I might pick the Chargers too.
Yes,
Like,
I think star power pushes me to the Chargers.
Okay, Chargers.
yeah, do you want quantity or quality?
Yeah.
Linebackers.
Drew Tranquil, when he went to Notre Dame, and he's starting, but he's not that great.
It's usually the answer. Your answer is usually Kansas City, but both their guys are either suspended or hurt right now.
Let's give it to Kansas City.
I'll give it to Kansas City.
Okay. Corner.
Oh, definitely,
Yeah,
Gotta be
definitely,
Chargers.
definitely Chargers. Asante Samuel Jr., J.C. Jackson, right?
J.C. Jackson, yes.
And then safety.
Chargers.
Chargers.
Derwin
Derwin
James.
James.
Yep, Derwin
Okay, so the Chiefs maybe have 3 of those out of...
That is crazy how off that is, how unweighted and how unbalanced that is, because that's wild.
Okay. I hope Tim's listening to the podcast, and I hope he texts me after he listens to it.
Let's go, Tim. All right. After that riveting debate, the Lions are minus 4.5 at home against the Seattle Seahawks. Excuse me. Total here is 50 points. Detroit is 3-0 against the spread this year, so they are undefeated against the spread. They're also 5-0 if you go back their last 5 games, including last year. The over is also 3-0 in Lions games this year as well.
This just updated before my very eyes. Now it is 5 points.
Really, back to
It
5.
literally just happened. I saw the red and the green pop up on FanDuel.
Minus 5. Lions minus
-5.
5. Damn, I hate that.
Me too.
I really want to bet on the Lions here, but I don't. We said this before. It's like I don't know if the Lions are 5 points better than anybody, but I just it's going to be a close game, which makes me want to lean towards the points. But I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say.
That just change is making me change my answer. I'm going with the over. So
50-5-0 flat.
So Lions are the number 1 scoring team in the
5-0
league
flat.
against the Seahawks. I don't see that changing after next week. And I think Geno Smith is playing decent football. Like, he is playing very well right now. Had a 300-yard week last week. Yes, that's not sustainable, but can I see like a 28-25 game maybe? I just think like the one team I can bet on weirdly to score points in this league is the Lions. I don't understand it, but it is like a fact right now.
Are you ready to be talked out of your bet?
No.
Is DeAndre Swift going to play this week?
Doesn't matter. As long every time Jamal Williams steps in, he's getting a touchdown.
Is Amon-Ra St. Brown going to be healthy this week?
That we still have to see.
I'm taking the under here. I think the fact that the overs hit all 3 games this for the Lions so far is inflating the number. I'm worried. Yes, Jamal Williams has still been good, but he has been good as a second option to DeAndre Swift. I don't know if I'm going to trust him to put up 2 touchdowns every time he's on the field when he's the lead back. Amon-Ra being dinged up may not play. Maybe he does. Still not worried or still concerned about that. Geno Smith threw for 300 yards last week, yes, but the 2 weeks prior to that, he threw for under 200 yards. I almost L-worded this game, but I vow to never L-word an under. But this is going in my parlay. This under is going in my parlay.
I want the Lions -5. I wanted them at 4.5. I'll still take them at 5. This is another prove it.
Mm-hmm.
The Lions are playing better than they have in forever.
Yep.
Big. That's a pretty big favorite. 4.5, 5 is a
It's for the Lions especially.
Right. Are they, quote unquote, for real? I know they're not Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah.
But do you deserve it? Prove it.
Prove it. Yep. You had a close loss last week to a divisional opponent. Now you've got
Brian, look at this.
It literally went down. I just
Did it
saw
go back?
It literally just went back down to
I
4.5.
literally watched it as well. I was like, is someone else going to say that?
All right. Well, we'll give. So you're the total has not changed, right? The total's sitting at 50.
Total's still 50.
I will give you
4.5.
4.5.
Okay, beauty. Love it.
Do I get to pick the lines at 4.5?
If you want the lines at 4.5, you
I'll
can
take
have the
lines
lines
at
at
4.5 before it changes again.
Let's go.
Put it in. Yeah, latch it in. Oh, this game's
The only thing that can talk me out of my bet is like line changing again before our
I'm
eyes.
still counting that as a win for me. I talked you out of your bet. The Steelers are 3.5-point favorites at home in the debut of Zach Wilson in the New York Jets. The total here is 40.5 points. These teams have just been very difficult to bet on and enjoy watching. Both the Steelers and the Jets unders are 4-1 in their last 5 games. I kind of just want to take the under because I don't know if I can trust the Steelers taking or minus 3.5 points, but I want to hear the optimist Charlie Hart's here lead us off.
I considered taking the Jets.
What?
As a
My pearls.
I did it last year too. As a parenting move.
Coaching.
Put him in timeout. Guess what, Steelers? Maybe you can't beat the stupid idiot Jets. Maybe you can't. And I'm so sure I'm going to put dollars on it and say you can't
Prove you
do it.
wrong.
Kind of like reverse psychology.
Yeah, I love it.
But
That's great.
Putting money on the Jets makes me feel like a dirty scum. So I'm taking the Steelers minus 3.5. I think this is a coaching mismatch. Steelers are at home. Good coaches don't lose back-to-back games very often.
I agree.
And they definitely don't lose back-to-back-to-back.
I agree to that too. Yeah, that's
Tomlin will get them tuned up, ready to go. 3.5 is not that many points. This game could be like 20-10.
It could be.
which is why JB's taking the under.
No, I'm picking the Steelers this time.
Ooh,
Come on.
let's do
I
it.
don't trust Zach Wilson for the life of me.
He
I
hasn't been
don't.
Is he playing?
He is playing week
No,
four.
for
Week four
sure.
debut. Yes.
They're idiots. They should let Flacco play.
Against the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know what the interception total is, but I would probably take the over here. I think Minka's going to eat.
Is he going to play? He's in concussion protocol.
Oh fuck, he is. Shit. I hope so.
The Jets' left tackle is also or right tackle. One of them is out for like a long time.
Yeah.
So Alex Highsmith is gonna eat his lunch.
Good.
The new
Highsmith's
guy.
been playing good. Let's have a quick Steelers moment here. Are we ready for Pickett yet?
Not yet.
Preseason, the Vegas, I think it was from like Odd Shark, the over under for number of like for Kenny to get his first start was 3.5 games, and this is the fourth.
This is the fourth game.
So it could be right around the bend. Obviously, he's not starting this week, but Vegas knows everything.
Yeah, but
Yeah. It's just
do you really want to throw Kenny into that buzzsaw that is the Bills and the Dolphins and the
Bucks? Yeah.
And
Can't
they're-
baby him forever.
Well, maybe baby him a little bit.
Are the Bills? Are
Can
the
you
Bills
baby
a
him till the bye
buzzsaw
week? Yes.
with everyone hurt?
Yes.
I mean, the offense is enough of a buzzsaw that they are going to have to keep up. So the pressure alone from the other side is probably just
Okay,
as
so
much.
we let Mitch get throttled and then put him in when we played like Bishop Sycamore. Like,
Yes.
they're still he still has to
Bishop
play
Sycamore.
professional football players.
Yeah, but he doesn't
Yeah.
have to have the hardest games first.
I agree. I think you just let Mitch ride this out. Hopefully he turns it around. Hopefully him and Canada can figure it the fuck out. But George Pickens is my spirit animal right now because like you can just see him visibly frustrated with Mitch and Matt Canada and everything like that. And for a rookie to be like that is very telling.
Canada's in trouble. Bro.
Yeah, he's in big trouble. So
Did you know the Steelers have the second highest 3-and-out rate in the league?
I think I saw that stat this week. And that doesn't surprise me.
33%. 1 out of every 3 of our drives is 3-and-out.
Let's have a quick positive Steelers note here. Catch of the year. Oh my gosh.
That gave us something to hang our hats on. That's for sure.
Yeah, that saved us. That entire game fucked me because I had the silver lining of my bet hitting, and then that touchdown at the end just ruined it. And I legit just like I tweeted at JetBets game. I was like, I may never bet again. And I bet 2 days later, but I waited
You
two
had
whole
a day.
days.
You had a day of
Oh yeah, I guess
detox.
I did bet Saturday because I took Notre Dame plus 5.5. But
Proud of you. You had a day of detox.
I'm also taking the Steelers. I don't know if I said that, but minus 3.5. I just think the Jets are still struggling. I think talk about rust, I think Zach Wilson's going to have some serious rust here. It looks like Minka is all systems go. He's not officially cleared yet, but it seems like that he has checked off every box he needs to so far, and he will play. So I think that combined with everything else, I think that the Steelers minus 3.5 is the safer bet here. Don't love the hook, but what are you going to do?
Get right game, 2-2.
Yeah, 2-2. Get back on track. Get right.
Need TJ back. Hopefully soon.
Yeah, should be soon.
2-2.
October.
2-2. Nothing to cry about. We're gonna be all right.
Is it also weird to think that by the time these games are being played, it's gonna be October? I feel like September flew by.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Like it's gonna be October 1st, I think.
Saturday's October 1st.
Saturday's October 1st.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
I have a
October
wedding
2nd.
that day,
Yeah. Yeah, that's nuts. But the Eagles, moving on, the other side of Pittsburgh here. 2 home games in Pennsylvania this week. The Eagles are 6.5-point favorites at home against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who just came off the throttling of the Chargers. The total here is 48.5. The Jags have allowed the most rushing yards in the league. The Eagles have the 7th most rushing yards, and surprisingly, have the 4th most passing yards. I thought Jalen Hurts couldn't throw the ball. This is a weird line. I feel like we talk about the Colts game impacting their line from last week. I feel like this didn't impact this line as much. I think that if you would have told me that the Jags lost to the Chiefs last week and it was relatively close, I would still probably put this at 6.5 or 7. But is a undefeated 3-0 team going to keep the undefeated streak going?
So I'll start this.
I just want to see who was going to go first. Sometimes I like to just to pass it off. Sometimes I want you guys to take the ball.
So I'm conflicted because I really like the over in this game, 48.5.
48.5, yeah.
But I'm trying not to just throw all my. I'm loving how the Jaguars are looking right now because I want to see Trevor Lawrence succeed. But I'm afraid I'm diving in too fast at this point. They had 2 good games, including both of them kind of winning on favorable circumstances. The Colts didn't have receivers. Herbert was hurt. So, I don't know. Which Jags team am I getting? All I know is Philly is a good team. That's all I know right now. Mm-hmm. So, I'm just banking on what I would know. I'm going with Philly minus 6.5.
This is a prove it game?
This is a prove it. This is a prove it game. The Eagles are the hottest team in the NFL right now.
I would agree with that.
Them or the Dolphins.
Yeah.
So hottest team in the NFC.
Only 2 3-0 teams left.
Right. All good things must come to an end. This team is not a 17-0 team. I don't think there are any in the history of planet Earth. Right? No 17-0. No, definitely 17.
Not. Yeah. Technically, what was the Patriots? Because they went 17-1.
That was including postseason.
Yeah, it was postseason. But yeah.
So I want the Jags plus 6.5. If the Eagles are legit, hey, show me.
I think I meant to mute myself when I coughed, and I didn't mute myself.
Good job, bro.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I walked over your punchline. Eagles 6.5. Proving it for you?
Prove it. That's all you got to do. Prove it. Show me.
I think I'm going to go the other way. I think I'm going to take the Jags here. I think that I really like what they're showing. They're spreading the ball. Trevor Lawrence is taking a huge step forward. Congratulations to Doug Peterson for tying Urban Meyer's record as the 5th most winning coach in Jaguars history with 2 wins.
Sick.
I think that the Jaguars are taking big steps in the right direction. I don't know if I believe that they win this game. I would like to get this to 7.5, but I will take plus 6.5 here because I think that's a lot of points. This is the second widest spread of the week, so I'm going to try and take advantage of it and take the Jaguars plus 6.5.
Just to be clear, I took the Jags also.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I swear.
You definitely said Eagles plus 6.5 and threw everything off. I was like, wait,
what did I really?
Say?
So,
Yeah, you did.
I wanted the Jaguars plus 6.5 because I need Philly to prove to me that they're worth betting on.
Understood. I'm so sorry.
You're good.
It's been a day. Charlie and I agreeing again, both taking the Jags. JB's taking the Eagles. 6.5 is that line.
A couple of sharks in the water, you could say.
Dun.
Not sharks.
Dun.
Sharks.
Falcons are at home, a home dog against the Cleveland Browns. Falcons are plus 1.5. Total here is 49.5. Cleveland got an anti-Cleveland stat coming in. Cleveland is 3-7 against the spread as road favorites. That's since 2019. Does that trend continue? Are they going to struggle in Atlanta this week, Charles?
Yes.
Next.
That's all I need to say. No, this is, again, classic prove it. The Browns are favored on the road.
1.5 points, but yes.
I don't care. Give me the Falcons. Plus 1.5. In the Dome. I think they finally remembered, like, oh, we have Kyle Pitts. Like, they took them a couple weeks to remember.
Yeah, it's weird how they forgot that.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Shiny new toy Drake London, but Kyle Pitts.
Browns are going to be riding high. Oh, look what we did. Look at us. Well, guess what? Here comes Mariota.
JB.
It's maybe because I have the little bit of fluttery heart eyes for the Falcons because they won me a good bit of money this week.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
I can't stop looking at that plus 1.5. It looks so good. It looks so good. I want to take it. So I'm going to go Falcons plus 1.5.
I was looking at this total. I think 49.5 for these two teams is a lot of points.
Mm-hmm.
Again, talk about kind of inflated numbers from last week not really being true because you look at that score of 24 to whatever it was or 29 to whatever it was, and it's like, oh, well, there was that shit touchdown at the end that really didn't matter and didn't really count. So really that they aren't putting up as many points as maybe you think they are, but I think the big thing here is this is the number one rushing team in the NFL on 10 days rest. You know, their mini bye week because they played Thursday night. I'm taking the Browns on the road. I think that this is just going to be a game where they should just run, and they should cover 1.5. I don't like it. Don't look at me that way. I don't like it.
Can I make a statement?
That's why we're here.
We are several picks into this, and we only have, I think, 6 games left. Not a single L word has been used.
I was thinking that too.
Coming down to the wire.
Boy. I think I got one coming up. I wrote a couple down.
I have a couple also.
This may also thank you for bringing that up because this may be a day where we allow a retroactive L word to go back in time.
What does that mean?
Well, we can go back if it.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can go back and
I'm gonna lock mine on Monday.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my time machine.
I knew that was gonna happen.
Back to the future. The Cowboys are 3.5-point favorites at home against divisional rival the Washington Commanders. The total here is 42.5 points. Dallas has owned the Washington franchise over their last 10 meetings, 7-3 against the spread. JB, is Cooper Rush legit?
He's not, but they keep winning, and I don't understand it. This game is so gross. Division game kind of makes me think it's just all hell's going to break loose. Give me Commanders plus 3.5. I don't feel great about it, but
you didn't sound great saying it.
I don't feel great saying it.
I feel dirty.
Again, I still vote for the stamp button of I don't stay far away from this game. If there was said stamp, I would be like, don't even look at this game on FanDuel or DraftKings or wherever you look at based on Pickett.
That's a great transition. Be sure to use Pickett to find the best spreads. JB and I were just looking at Pickett earlier. I forget what game we were looking at for it, but we were on there. We were trying to figure out where the money was, where the best lines were, on what apps. I was looking at it today to figure out where I could get the over in the Ravens-Buffalo game at 51.5, and then that was DraftKings still had it, and they had it at minus 105 instead of minus 110. So I was able to get in, get the best odds, get the best line before it moved. If you sign up with them, it's free to use. You use promo code JETBETS, and you get a free Venmo directly to you. It could be $3. It could be $100. It'll probably be somewhere in between. But it's a great app. They just updated it. There's a bunch of new features. You can track to see how all your bets are doing over college football. You can see how you do on football Sundays. It's a really, really great app. Check it out. PIKKIT, promo code JETBETS. Good call out there, JB. JB's taking the Commanders. Charles, who you taking?
I want the Cowboys. I dislike the Commanders. I said very nice things about them after week 1 in that shootout with the Lions, I think, and they've done nothing since.
They put up 8 points against a real football team, which was the Eagles last week.
Oh, really? They back-to-back divisional games?
Yeah, back-to-back divisional games.
That is a little bit weird.
24-8 last week, yeah.
The Cowboys looked good. Could be recency bias, but it's only 3.5. Commanders have looked lowly. I think that's a fair word to use. Mm-hmm. Lowly. The Cowboys, I feel like, are kind of figuring themselves out, even without Dak. leaning on their rushing game and realizing that Zeke probably isn't like a premier featured back anymore. Mm-hmm. Using him as a thunder lightning with Tony Pollard seems to be working. And if Zeke is cool with that, which I hope that he is, this team will be in much better shape than they have been previously.
Zeke doesn't have a whole lot of leverage not to be cool with it at this point.
True.
Yeah. I think at this point, he needs to buy into it to stay healthy because he hasn't been healthy for the last couple of years.
True.
I'm taking the Commanders plus 3.5 here. The Cowboys looked bad pretty much that entire game on Monday until like the last quarter, and they really like woke the fuck up. I don't know if we're getting Michael Gallup back. Dak hinted at maybe he was going to come back, but I think there's a 1% chance he actually plays this week. I think Carson Wentz is due now. He's a very up and down quarterback. He was up in week 1. He's been down for 2 weeks. I think he's due to come back up. I'm going to take the points. Really, I'm taking the hook here. I think this is going to be a shit game. It's going to be a field goal game. Give me the 3.5 divisional close game.
That's fair.
I think this is the head scratcher of the week. Kicking off the 4 o'clock slate. The Panthers are -2 at home against the Cardinals.
1.5 now. Don't want to cut you off.
1.5? No, please, thank you. 1.5 points. Still, I'm very surprised to see the Cardinals being underdogs here. The total is 42.5.
43.
43, gone up. Numbers. Arizona is pretty good as an underdog. 7-3 against the spread when they are underdogs, and 8-2 against the spread when they're road dogs. Nobody's jumping on this, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm locking this motherfucker up.
Ooh,
Give me the
I
Cardinals.
stayed away. I knew somebody else was going to take it. I stayed
You better
away.
lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
I'm locking it up. For the record, I got this game at +2. I'll take it at +1.5 here. Give me the money line. I don't care. I know the Cardinals struggled. They didn't score a touchdown last week. They look kind of out of sorts. Talk about a get-right game against the Panthers, who can't get their best weapon in DJ Moore moving. Christian McCaffrey is up and down. Baker is still figuring out the offense. This smells like a Cardinals victory. I don't care the West Coast to East Coast, East Coast to West Coast shit. The Cardinals are the better team here, and I don't think it's particularly close. So I'm taking the Cardinals as dogs. I think this is a miss by Vegas. I said it.
Yeah, you're not going to hear any complaints from me. I'm taking the Cardinals plus 1.5.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up.
I don't know what I did. I accidentally
Did you delete everything?
I hit the lock it up button twice.
Oh, no.
JB did not lock that for the listeners at home, but he is taking the Cardinals.
I'm worried about this because it seems so obvious.
Yeah.
This is a Kyler versus Baker.
Oklahoma.
We could call it the Sooner Showdown.
Ooh.
Maybe.
I was going to call it the Sooner Boomer.
Why is it a boomer?
Isn't that their thing? Sooner Boomer?
I don't know.
Nah, maybe it isn't.
But I'm thinking the game will not be a boomer. It will be a buster. How about that? This sucks. I will take the... I'll take the over.
Ooh.
I hate both these teams by 1.5 either way. I don't want to touch it. I want to see 1,000,000 points.
Don't we all?
And they could do it. I mean, the Cardinals, if they get their shit together, absolutely can do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Baker is as good as anybody playing from behind, at least trying to come back. Mm-hmm. I think he still needs to work on his timing with his weapons. There's potential here for points, and it's only 43 points. I mean,
yeah, it's pretty low, all things considered. Raiders. The 0-3 Raiders. Charlie Hartz's Raiders are 2-point favorites at home against divisional rival, the Denver Broncos.
2.5
2.5
at the moment, ATM.
That means something else, too. 2.5-point favorites. 45.5 is the total. Mm-hmm. You might say, why are the 0-3 Raiders favored in this game? It's because the Raiders are 8-2 against the spread against Denver in their last 10 meetings. Charlie, I'm going to let you have the floor here with your Raiders. Is this a prove-it game? What side are you taking? I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
I'm not touching the Raiders until they can prove it. Therefore, I'm taking the Broncos plus 2.5. Raiders make me sick. I've locked them 3 weeks in a row. They should have beat and covered, or they should have covered against the Cardinals. That last second BS put in overtime and ruined it for me.
Yep.
Should have won there. What was last week? Who did the Raiders play last week? I forget.
They played the Who did they play last week?
They should have either way. They had them.
They
lost
played the Titans. Lost to the Titans.
Oh yeah, the Titans stink. What are we doing here? I'm mad at the Raiders. This is tough love, tough parenting. I'm taking the Broncos plus 2.5. I hope they prove me wrong. I would never be happier to lose a bet than to see them finally get their shit together. But for now, they're one of the best weapons on the offensive side of the ball in the league, and they can't do anything, like nothing.
Yep.
Makes me sick.
JB, how you feeling? You feeling sick about this one too?
I'm not touching this game with a 10-foot pole, and you can't make me.
Well, you have to pick something here.
I guess you can make me. I'm going Denver plus 2.5. I do not trust the Raiders for the life of me. And I guess, I don't trust Denver either, but they do have wins under their belt. And they're, Raiders are 0-3 right now, correct? They have one game.
They are the only 0-3 team.
And if I remember correctly, if you combine everybody else's schedule, they're 0-6.
Yes, that is true, too.
I don't trust the Raiders for a damn life of me, and the other team's getting points. Yeah, I don't trust the Raiders as a favorite. That's just the bottom line because Stone Cold says so.
I'm taking the Raiders.
Oh, get out of here! You make me sick. Fuck the Raiders. You
fine.
Make me sick.
That's fine. I think the Broncos might be the worst 2-1 team I've ever seen in my damn life. It scored 11 points on primetime football. Barely won a game. Russell Wilson has looked out of sorts. Everything looks broken. That offense just isn't moving. I don't know what it is. Jerry Jeudy can't get open. Cortland Sutton can't get open. Javonte and Melvin Gordon can't get anything going on the ground. Everything's gone to hell in a handbasket. This is the Raiders get right game. This is not an 0-4 team. That's what we're missing here. This team is not an 0-4 team. They will right the ship and win this game. They've had Denver's number for the last 10 games. It will continue here. I'm taking the Raiders minus 2.5.
Do we want to talk about the humongous hole in that your 8-2 stat?
The Broncos quarterbacks?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. Has Russell Wilson looked any better than Trevor Siemian?
Do we need...
Yeah, come on.
What? Look at the games!
Brian.
Look at the games!
Brian.
You're wrong. You're wrong and you know it.
New head coach, new quarterback, they're putting their shit together. You can't use him and Simeon in the same sentence.
I just did. I'm so mad at Russell Wilson right now.
Now I'm taking the Broncos money line.
To spite Brian.
That's fine.
Charlie and I will bet on this.
Yes.
That's fine. Do it. I'll laugh my way to the bank alone. I'm not going to pay for gas. The Packers are 10.5-point favorites. Biggest spread of the week against the Patriots without Mac Jones. The total here is 40.5 points. This is a shit game. Green Bay's unders are undefeated this season. They're 3-0, and the unders hit every game Green Bay has played this year. Are the Patriots 10.5 points worse than the Packers? These two P's are fucking me up. With Brian Hoyer quarterback, Charlie.
They are still, what was I going to say? It's actually 10 now, so no more hook.
Back to 10. No more hook. Okay.
10 even. No, I don't think they're 10 points better than the Patriots, even with Brian Hoyer. Aaron Rodgers has struggled to adapt to his new weapons, to say the least. We still have a Bill Belichick defense that is more than capable of at least figuring it out and keeping it close-ish. I will take the 10 points is a humongous spread with Belichick. I know it's not your daddy's Belichick, but come on, 10 points is way too much.
JB, tell us how this is the worst Patriots team you've ever seen.
I say every week that this is the worst Patriots team I've ever seen. That's why I'm picking the Packers minus 10.
Whoa.
You're crazy.
They're a top 5 team.
No, they're not.
Yes,
they're
they
not.
are.
They put 14 points up last week.
I don't care. They won. W.
Because
they won.
The top 3 wide receivers were out for Tom Brady.
Okay, and they had to play that defense.
I have a troubling stat about the Packers also.
Okay.
The Packers have scored one touchdown in the second half all season.
But it's troubling.
All their points are in the first half.
That is troubling.
I don't think the Patriots score any points.
Okay, that's fair. I still want the plus 10.
Yeah. They don't have to score any points if we get plus 10 and they win 7-0 because we still cover.
That ain't happening, and you know it.
I'm taking the Patriots plus 10 here. I'm going to throw it out there. Is Brian Hoyer that much worse than Mac Jones? People are asking.
Fair question.
I'm asking it. 10 is too much. I think that you're on the right track here, JB, in the sense that Green Bay has improved every week, but 10 points here is too much. They're still rookies at the wide receiver position.
One of those rookies showed out
for 1.5 drives, and I'm on the train. I think he's going to get it together. He's going to put it together and all that stuff, but I just don't like 10 points. If this was 7.5 points, I would probably take the Packers, but it's 10. I'm taking the Patriots, and 10. I need 2 full hands to count the points.
I think the Packers are a little bit closer to the Chiefs
What?
than anticipated because they're winning because they don't have that number one receiver, but they're spreading the ball out because everybody has their role. Randall Cobb is the most reliable target that he has. Christian Watson is that MVS plus role. Dobbs is now showing out a little bit, so maybe he can show out. I'm just saying.
Hold on, wait.
They
You just
spread the field. That's what I'm saying. They don't lock onto a single target. They're spreading the field.
That's fair, but you just said Randall Cobb is the most reliable receiver there.
Is he? Isn't he?
And you compared him, and you compared them to the Chiefs.
You want
So
to compare
by
him to
the
Juju and really piss you off?
by the property of association, the associative property, you are comparing Randall Cobb to Travis Kelce because he is the
They don't even play the same position. You sound stupid right now.
You said that
sound
that's the
dumb.
most reliable weapon he has.
In Aaron Rodgers' mind, because he's the most comfortable
Okay,
with.
and then Patrick Mahomes' most reliable weapon is Travis Kelce.
All I'm saying is maybe the team doesn't need a Devontae Adams. Maybe Aaron is actually learning how to spread the ball out.
I don't think you're wrong, but I don't think that equation gets you to 10 points better than the Patriots, even with Brian Hoyer. I don't even know what the defense is doing. I guess the defense is okay. They're improving as well for the Packers, but 10 points. That's my argument, is 10 points.
I don't care. Packers are still a top 5 team, in my opinion, going against one of the worst teams, I think, with a backup quarterback.
Okay.
This will be fun to debate next week.
Yeah, this is going to be... is this a 6-packer here?
Ooh. We haven't had one
We
in a couple
haven't
weeks.
had one in a while.
That's literally the only reason why I'm considering it, because I'm like, I don't think we've done one yet. But I don't feel that great about it.
What? You just
Well, I'm not going to put it in my picks, but...
You just drew a sword. I watched you
You know
draw
what?
a sword from your
I
sheath.
know, bitch. Fine, I'm taking it.
All right,
You know, bitch.
Let's do it.
We're not a bitch on this side of the table, even though you're all the way over there hiding behind your monitor.
Hell yeah.
Like a coward.
Come on.
I've got to watch the levels. You
Turn
know
up the
that.
You're like Colin Coward with his big desk. You have to have the monitor.
I
over
literally
you.
moved from the big desk.
You still have to show your power.
I've got stuff to do. I'm in charge, damn it.
Hey, that's enough fighting, boys. It's time for a real fight.
Ooh.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Sunday Night Fights.
Did you play the sound? I didn't hear it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I did.
Okay, great. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Sunday Night Fights. This fight stinks also. We can't get a good one. We can't get a good one to save our lives. I'll try to give it my all. Fighting out of the red corner, standing 6 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 225 pounds. Fighting out of Tyler, Texas, by way of Texas Tech University, Patrick the Grim Reaper Mahomes.
Oh, what a
Apparently
nickname.
given to him after that epic playoff victory over Buffalo last year.
I would have called him the coin toss Mahomes then, but okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
In the blue corner, standing 6 feet 4 inches tall, also weighing 225 pounds, the 18 years his senior to his opponent. 18-year difference.
That's insane.
Tom Brady was graduating high school, and Mahomes was born.
That's insane.
Fighting out of San Mateo, California, by way of University of Michigan. Tom, the GOAT, Brady.
Boo, bitches.
I like Brady. Brady.
I'll boo Brady. Boo, you whore.
I respect Brady as a quarterback. He's one of the best to ever touch a football, if not the best. Patrick Mahomes, again, 18 years younger, way more athletic. And he kills him. He murders him.
I know exactly what happens in this fight. Mahomes throws one punch, hits Brady in the face. Mahomes breaks his hand off Brady's bare ass cheekbones, and then Brady wins by default.
I was going to say there's a plastic surgery element here that Brady may not feel a punch to the face.
Okay, now we're talking.
But
That does put a wrinkle in it, for sure.
And you could argue that Brady's diet maybe keeps him a little more, the TB12
Keeps him
method.
alive. I don't think it keeps him strong.
That's fair. I mean, you're right. It's Mahomes. I'm just trying to find any argument here
I'm
because
still with the Mahomes breaking his hand over Brady's face. I'm still on that train.
yeah. I mean, I think the bottom
So
line.
give it
is-
to the GOAT. Wins by default.
How many no-look punches does Mahomes throw in this fight?
That'd be hilarious, bro. That'd be so wild. Just like imagine you're about to bring with the right, and then just
I don't know what's been worse so far: the Sunday night fights themselves or the actual Sunday night performances.
All these games are, the primetime games. Like you said, the under is 8-2 all
Yeah,
year.
that's crazy.
We haven't had a good one yet.
We're gonna round out here on Sunday night fights, and we're gonna ring the bell. This should be a good game. The Bucs are 1.5-point home dogs here against the Chiefs. The total is 45.5. These are two teams that are widely regarded to be great, but one struggles against the spread and the other succeeds. Kansas City is 1-4 in their last 5 games against the spread, while Tampa Bay is 7-3 against the spread over their last 10 matchups. The under has also hit in every Buccaneers game this year. There's a wrinkle in here that we need to accommodate for because there's a hurricane coming into southern Florida right now. So I think that this game, there's a very high probability that this game will not be played in Tampa. Mm-hmm. So keep that in mind for the home game. Keep that in mind that the Bucs are not going to have to go. They're not going to go through their regular schedule, through their regular routines. That might throw them off a little bit. So keep that in mind while you're betting here. I'll lead this off because I've set this up. I'm picking the Chiefs. Who knows where this game's going to be played, like I said, but the Chiefs need to bounce back. Like I said, they may have fallen into a trap last week. Mahomes isn't going to let that happen again. Even if Mike Evans comes back, even if Julio comes back, that may lead me to the over a bit, but I'm excited to see the Chiefs here. I think the Chiefs come out with a dub and squeak one out here, -1.5.
JB?
You sure you want to give me this?
I turned to you on purpose.
Lock it up.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
I love good teams coming off bad losses. And I do not consider the Bucs' loss as a bad loss. You went up against another equally good team and just lost a close game.
Missed the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, I do not fault anybody on that one. Chiefs got embarrassed. And I love good teams, especially good coaches, off bad losses. So I am hammering the Chiefs -1.5. Especially if they do move, I think that gives more points towards the Chiefs and less towards the Buccaneers.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I mean, I think the number's going to go up in their favor.
So I'm trying to hit it at -1.5. I'm actually probably going to bet now as we speak.
Yeah, hit it and quit it.
Nice.
Mr. Hartz.
I want the Chiefs also. I lost money on them last week. I said it again. I'll say it one more time. I lost money on them last week. I think the Chiefs are much better than the Buccaneers as it currently stands. The Buccaneers' offense is literally in shambles. Like their whole receiving core is hurt. Their O-line got hurt preseason, and they can't recover because they're literally hurt for
done for the season.
Rest of the year. Again, bad losses. I agree with JB's point. Only 1.5 too. I think it's easy.
Yeah, I think the one problem we always have betting against Chiefs is that they get inflated. You can't. It's 1.5. This is inflated.
Inflate a 1.
Yep. It's been a while. We started off with 2 of them, and then we took a break. We're finishing Sunday night off with a sweep. 1 game, 1 lock remaining. Are you going to go backwards in time?
I like to live my life in the present.
Okay.
And I'm going to stay in the present.
Then let's begin. The 49ers are at home. They're 2.5-point favorites against the defending Super Bowl champions, Los Angeles Rams. The total here is 42.5. San Francisco has had the Rams number. 1-4 against the spread. The Rams are against San Francisco in their last 5 meetings. Curious which way Charlie is going to L-word this.
I want the Rams plus 2.5.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
I think this is a tough week for the Niners. I'm concerned about Jimmy G and the offense. He didn't take many snaps before Trey Lance got hurt. Literally didn't practice. They didn't give him a playbook.
We talked about this earlier.
Isn't that crazy?
That was insane. Why would you not do
this
that?
Before Brian told me about
They gave him a playbook in case he got traded. They wouldn't be able to give like the company secrets away, like where the best vending machines are in the facility. What the hell is he going to tell you?
Where the best
you don't already
toilets are.
know.
Yeah,
I think it's stupid. But I think the Rams are cooking. I think they've had 2 good bounce back weeks after a tough week 1 loss against the Bills.
Yep.
I just trust the Rams to take care of business. 2.5 points is more than enough for me. I also love the Chiefs. That was my backup L word, but I did lob it to JB. I know you all heard me do it.
Yep, it happened.
Live on air.
I saw it.
But, yeah, I love the Rams plus 2.5. Primetime McVay does not fall short very often.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Rams plus 2.5 here as well. This has definitely been one of those head scratchers where it's like, how did the Niners, even in this Rams dominance, have just absolutely taken over for when they play twice a year? But this feels a little bit different. There's a lot of injuries for the Niners. I think that, like you said, I think the Rams are back on track. This feels like a get-right game for the Rams. Keep that hot streak alive. Give me the plus 2.5. Are we in there on a sweep, JP?
We start with a sweep. We shall end on a sweep.
Love it.
Yeah. I still think the Rams are a better team than the Niners right now. Jimmy G didn't look great in his first showing, so I kind of want to see Jimmy G play very well before I start believing in the Niners again. Rams, again, don't have a good offensive line. They're a little bit of a weird team running. The offensive, the running game isn't there. Basically, you're not Cooper Kupp. You're not getting a whole lot of passes. Even Cooper Kupp. Ben Skronik was the number 1 receiver last week.
Go Irish, baby.
I knew you would say that. But at the end of the day, actually, if we really think about it, I could really see an under here with the 2 really good defenses going against each other at 42.5, and no wonder it's so low. But Rams, Super Bowl champs getting the points is still very tempting to me.
Yeah, hard to avoid.
I believe in the Super Bowl champs, and I'm waiting to believe on Jimmy G again.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I think that the surprise effect of Jimmy G coming in was just, they weren't prepared for his style of play when he came in for Trey Lance. And then we saw what happened when the team was prepped and ready for him. And, yeah, he's definitely got to catch up. It's crazy to me they didn't give him a playbook. I mean, absolutely crazy. That just goes to show how confident they were that he was not going to be there for the start of the season. And now he's their starting quarterback. All right, those are our picks. We're going to round out here with our final segment of the night. It's our parlays.
Parlay. Parlay, parsnip, sleep, partner. Parlay, that's the one. Parlay.
As it is parlay tradition, JP, would you care to start us off?
All right. So my 4 short 4 this week, alternately known as the foe for show.
4!
I'm going to go with my lock of the week, which is the Chiefs minus 1.5. I like good teams and good coaches again after bad losses, and Buccaneers have some holes in them right now. Cardinals plus 1.5. I think they're just straight up the better team as opposed to the Panthers. And the only reason I think they're getting points is because they're away, and I don't think that's a good enough reason. Dolphins plus 3.5. I still think they're a top team. I think Tua will play. I think Tua will play just fine. Tyreek, if you heard what Tyreek says, he's 0-1 to Eli Apple, so I'm expecting a big one from Tyreek. And I'm going with the Bills and the Ravens over 51.5. Again, a defense that is underperforming immensely versus a defense that is very banged up. So with 2 of the more efficient offenses in the league, I expect points. And which is not great for record low scoring in the NFL, but This game just has every possibility to go off.
So JB's got the Chiefs, the Cardinals, the Dolphins, and then over 51.5 points, Buffalo-Baltimore game. I'm trying to rebrand my bet here because I used to try to do like the all-day parlay or the everyday parlay, but now that we're really tracking these legs, I want to make sure that I'm providing the best possible bet. So I'm going to go the BBB, Brian's Best Bets.
Oh, okay.
I like it.
Also known as the Big Baller brand, but
No affiliation.
You better not say that. You better bleep that out.
yeah, better edit that out. So Brian's best bet for week 3 here. We're going to start with Detroit and Seattle under 50 points. We're going to take the Cardinals plus 1.5. We're also going to take Buffalo and Baltimore over 51.5. And if you wanted to add a fourth in, I wasn't going to do this, but because JB pretty much copied me and took 2 of my picks, I'm going to add in the Ravens plus 3.5 at home. So you got Detroit and Seattle under 50, the Cardinals plus 1.5, the Baltimore Buffalo over, and the Ravens plus 3.5 at home. And that's your Brian's best bet for week 3. Sorry, week 4. Week 4, excuse me. Mr. Hartz.
I did a little bit of research on my parlay legs the first 3 weeks, looking for like some kind of common denominator of most of the time I think if this bet doesn't hit, can I sleep soundly knowing that I made an educated, like pretty good decision? Mm-hmm. Example, like last week, my parlay legs were with the Ravens, a top team in the league.
Yep.
The Bengals, a top team in the league. And then the Raiders. We don't have to talk about the Raiders. Week before that, Chargers, allegedly one of the best teams in the league. Mm-hmm. Can't get put together. The Dolphins, probably the hottest team in the AFC. And then the Vikings, who are good. They didn't cover against the Eagles, who are also super hot.
So are you telling me that your strategy is to bet on good teams?
No, not betting on good teams. The spreads are involved too here.
Well, yeah, I know.
I'm not taking Chiefs money line every week. That's my lock.
I was being facetious, like, oh, you mean you're not taking the Saints in any of these or any like funky ass teams?
Well, that's where I was leaning. I'm like, oh, maybe that's what I've been doing. But go back to week 1. I took Houston and Atlanta.
Houston's a covering machine, though.
That was week 1 when you didn't know anyone was
That's
good
true.
or bad. Take the humongous spreads.
So you were just taking points.
I was taking points. So the truth is, there's no method.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm blindly betting. You idiots are listening to me.
Like the rest of us.
I love these 3 games stuck out to me from before we even went through the podcast. I want Baltimore plus 3. I want my backup lock, JB's lock, Chiefs minus 1.5. And I want my lock, Rams plus 2.5. Those are my official 3 legs.
Okay.
If you want to sprinkle a fourth, are we counting those as?
I'd say because we all have 4, so that will make it.
Yeah. Well, but I also don't. If you don't feel comfortable with 4, you don't need 4 every week.
Okay.
But I added in the 4th because JB and I matched on 2. So if you want to add in, because you're technically matching on 2 of my legs, or no, you're matching on 1 of each of ours. So it's up to you.
Okay.
It's up to you if you want this to be counted. Let's put it that way. Okay.
I do. I officially want it to be counted.
Okay.
And because of this final leg, I'm going to name this parlay "Fuck the Raiders." Denver plus 2.5.
Very creative name. Denver plus 2.5. Baltimore plus 3.5. Chiefs minus 1.5. Rams plus 2.5. Denver plus 2.5. Week 4.
Book it.
I'm ready. We're starting off hot with a nice uniform game. The word uniform escaped me there. And then, are we going to do anything are we having brunch on Sunday morning watching this game?
Ooh.
I was thinking about sneaky tailgating for the game.
Oh, you going down to the Lurs game?
Thinking about it. I don't know.
Oh.
What's the weather?
Oh, that's a good question. Actually, I think it might be raining. I don't know.
50% chance of rain, high 63. Maybe you'll stay at home.
I like brunch.
Yeah, maybe we get a little brunch action. I always like going down to Riley's down there. We'll talk about that off air. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at JetBetsGamble. If you like fantasy football as well, check out our other podcast, Jet Set Dynasty Football, where we talk dynasty and fantasy football. Rate, review, subscribe. Check out Pickett. Use promo code JetBets. We bounce back this week. We're here every single week for every single game. Let's go win some fucking money.